Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Studio, and today I'm here to review Outer Banks Season 4, Episode 3, titled The Lupine Corsairs. And I thought this was a great episode all the way through. We got some great moments between the couples, which I really liked, because I do like those moments a lot in this show. So all three of the couples, I think, had a great moment in this episode. Specifically, I really like the John B. and Sarah moments with the rings, but it also advanced the plot a decent amount, too. We now have a bigger idea as to what these villains are up to, what the actual treasure is, and then, of course, a pretty good cliffhanger at the end, which I did enjoy. So basically, let's just kick things off. Last episode ended with them getting the amulet from the ship underneath the sea, and that sent JJ and Kiara into the hospital. So basically, it kind of starts off with the other four, John B, Sarah, Pope, and Cleo. They have to find out what the amulet says because they're unable to read it. And then JJ and Kiara are in the chamber, the hyperbaric chamber. And Lightner comes into the hospital and he has a gun wound, but he sees JJ. They see each other, so then they have to escape. And the Lightner's also trying to escape, but JJ and Kiara have to break out of the chamber. And I feel like it's not that easy to break out of one of those. That was a pretty funny sequence. And then Kiara takes Lightner's file from the nurse, which apparently no one noticed that. And then they leave the hospital with Pope and Cleo. So, I mean, that was a pretty intense opening. I did enjoy that. So John B and Sarah go to this mosque to, like, translate what is on the amulet. And the message is from the half moon to the North Star, where the living and the dead collide. The gatekeeper will guide the way. The guy, he realizes it's a gift from Edward to Elizabeth. And then he's unwilling to help them. He says the amulet is cursed, kicks them out. I do think this is kind of suspicious. Now, I don't think it's anything like significant about this guy in particular. I think it's just trying to tell us that this whole thing is cursed, the Edward and Elizabeth of it all. And we also find out that Elizabeth was held captive by Edward in Morocco, which I think sets up later on in the season when they do go to Morocco. So I think that's a good setup. So we also have Wes Jenrette, and he did not die of a heart attack. Turns out he was murdered. And the guy from last episode who showed up dead on the beach, they had the same marks on their body. Now we don't know who was the one who killed them. In fact, we still don't know at the end of episode 5. But I assume because Wes Jenrette was an important character, we will find that out later on in the season. And then we see... now, to me, this was kind of odd, how they find out the blue crown. Apparently it was worn by, like, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, people like that. And it was lost in the 1700s. Now, to me, I'm fine with them looking for the blue crown. I just think that the way they got to it was a bit of a stretch. Like, they just happened to have a book in the house about it. Like, that was the only thing that was like, maybe they could have, like, explained that a little bit more, and getting to the blue crown, it's, like, a bit of a jump, like, and I get that they need an actual treasure, and they already found the amulet, so they kind of have to have another treasure to find, so I think the blue crown makes sense. It's just, I feel like they could have explained it a little bit more, how they got to the realization. Of course, I guess the reason why they know the Blue Cross, so pretty much Pope, Cleo, JJ, and Key, they go to this pier, because apparently that's Lightner's address, which is kind of sus. And then they see him meeting with a woman on top of the pier. Lightner sees JJ and Key, and then it's not like they're actually running from him. It's just they just happen to decide to jump off of this, and it's kind of cute because they're on their first date. I like that. So pretty much they jump off of the pier right before Lightner catches them. And then Lightner talks to this woman, and then that's where the blue crown thing is brought up, and Pope's overhearing them. So, and then, of course, that leads to apparently John B just having a random book in his house about the blue crown. So now they're celebrating because that's what they're looking for. But we also have this cute thing with John B and Sarah, and pretty much they talk about their marriage, but how they don't wear rings. And then at the end of the episode, they give each other a ring, and it's just really cute. And I'm really liking how this season, there's no drama between them. They're just purely happy together, and I love that for them. After all they've been through, I think they deserve a little bit of like of a breather for their relationship. And again, I said this before, I'll say it again, all 5 of these episodes, there's really no drama between the couples, and that's what I love about it. Pope and Cleo have a little bit of a make-out session in the car, and that's great for them too, because they really haven't had many romantic scenes so far. But no, I just like how the couples, like, there's just no drama with them. Now, I bet you, because we're in a teen drama, there'll be some drama later on, but I like that so far they're not really writing actual relationship drama. It's just mostly about the dynamics between the Pogues, which I do like. So basically the only storyline that was just kind of meh about this episode, before I get to the cliffhanger, was the Rafe and Sofia storyline. I just didn't really understand all that much. Basically, Hollis still wants to work with Rafe for the real estate. He's kind of hesitant. Turns out that Sofia's father and Hollis are like allies, and Sofia's father tries to convince Sofia to convince Rafe to partner with Hollis. It's a bit of a stretch. Sofia kind of knows that like this probably isn't her thing to get involved in. But she does decide to make a deal with Hollis to get Rafe to invest in the Go Island deal. Hollis offers her $25K to get Rafe to invest, and she does accept. And I don't think it's actually revealed that she was involved in this until... Actually, I don't think Rafe even knows. I do think he's going to find out and he's going to be upset like later on in the season. But we also find out that she's a Pogue. Because him and Topper are talking about that at this party thing, and then she overhears, and Rafe's pretty much saying him and Sofia aren't serious, and she's just a casual hookup, and that really hurts her, and she walks away, and it's clear, like, she regrets, making that deal with Hollis. So I do think there's some drama there, and I think that kind of leads into the next 2 episodes with them, but to me, I'm just not that interested in this storyline. I do think it's interesting that Rafe is dating a Pogue. That's an interesting setup, but to me, I feel like they could have written it in a different way that wasn't connected to this whole other storyline with Hollis, which I just don't care about. But basically, the end of the episode, Lightner kidnaps Cleo and takes her on his boat, and that was a shocker to me. But the bigger shocker is that Terrence is also on the boat. And Terrence was her captain back from season 2, which we have not seen since then. We never got an answer to what happened to him. So that was a great cliffhanger. I gasped. I was shocked. So I really liked that ending. But again, I like this episode overall. It definitely advanced the plot a lot. And it had great moments between the couples. Again, the only complaint I have about it is that I just don't really get the Rafe and Sofia storyline, and the Hollis of it all. It's just not my favorite. But I like how it's kind of a mix of murder mystery, but also treasure hunting, and it's definitely like an entertaining mystery overall, and I do like it way more than the El Dorado of it all of last season. So that's kind of it for this video, but I'll see you guys tomorrow for the episode 4 recap. So thanks everyone for listening, and bye everyone.